Drive-through, boys and girls, for a special homecoming edition. Let's give it up for homecoming! You guys are terrible. That was terrible. Homecoming this year is sponsored by the Deli. Looking for a place to go take your date? Stop by the Deli. Buy your date a sandwich. All right, so we've got BE is perpendicular to AD. AC is perpendicular to BD. AC is congruent to BE. And DE is congruent to EC. All of that is given. Let me mark my picture accordingly. So, BE. So I'm going to say, I'm going to buy myself a little more room. Angle bed. Angle BEA. I don't really know which one of these I'm going to use, so I'm going to list them all. Angle DCA and angle BCA are all what? They're all right angles. And my reason is definition of perpendicular. Okay? So now I can mark these up accordingly. And immediately, since I'm going to right angles, I'm thinking HL. Okay? Bless you. I know that AC, this is why I like having it, AC is congruent to BE, so I'm just going to write it like that in pink. That'll help me remember that those are congruent. And then here, I'm going to write a side here. I've already done a side. And I know that DE is congruent to DC, and there's another side. Okay. DE, brutal. That makes this significantly harder, doesn't it? Okay. I'm trying to prove that DEC is equilateral. Okay. Forgot to unpause. I think I better pull some triangles apart and trust my own advice here, because this is quite convoluted. D, E, B. What do I have? I've got that this is a right angle. I've got this, and I know that EB I'll put a circle on. Now, if I look at the other one, this is DCA. I know that CA has a little bubble on it. I know that that's that. But I don't have DC yet, do I? Okay. Now I can go and say that these angles are congruent. All right, let me step back and think about this for a second. I got these are congruent. I know nothing about those. Gosh, this is a hard proof. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry for the long, awkward pause in the video. I thought we were paused. But thanks to my buddies Alex and Kevin, they just hooked me up with the help I needed. I need to pull another set of triangles out of here. So here is EAB. Okay, let's see. We know that this is a right angle, and we know that EB has a circle on it. And then over here, I'm just going to pull out triangle CBA. Here's a right angle, and I know that CA has a circle on it. And now I've got some reflexive that I can use. So if I said that AB was congruent to AB or BA, that would be reflexive. Okay? So now I've got that congruent to that. So how can I prove that triangle EAB is congruent to triangle CBA? What's that going to be? HL postulate. Okay? So now I can say, let's see, how does that help me over CB is congruent to EA by CPCTC? CB is congruent to EA by CPCTC. All right, let's see. CB, let me label it everywhere. CB is congruent to EA. So I'll go like, I don't know, a box. And then I'll put it here as well. Okay, so now that I've got that, I am also going to pull another thing out with CPCTC. I probably could have included that, but notice that the big angle EAB is congruent to angle CBA, and that's also CPCTC. So that is this angle, bless you, is congruent to this angle. And in here it's this angle and this angle. So now what I can say is that, well, what can I say next using if angles then sides? AD is congruent to BD by if angles then sides. Okay? Now here's where it gets a little bit tricky. So follow with me. Do you see that I've got now this side is congruent to that side? And do you see how in this statement right here, I said that this side was congruent to this side? So now I can say that DE is congruent to what? DC by, excellent, segment subtraction, or segments subtraction, but that's okay, either way. Okay? Now, this is kind of a weird step here, but you're given that EC is congruent to DE from the given. So now I'll write EC is congruent to DE is congruent to DC, and my reason for that would just be substitution or transitive. Okay? And your final step is that triangle DEC is equilateral. And what would my reason be? Definition of equilateral, because I've just proven that three sides are congruent. And ladies and gentlemen, today is a major day in your quest to become adults, because you cannot become a man or a woman without doing a 10-step proof. And now you can finally check that off your bucket list. Boom! Boom!